Hi, everyone. Gerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo. We're at the South Side Steelers facility, and today was the day we actually got to talk to the coordinators, which we do every Thursday. Our Steeler Report brought to you by Savinas, Kane, and Gallucci, mesothelioma and asbestos lawyers with 85 years of experience uncovering the truth and getting millions for their clients. Go to sdklaw.com. Ray, one of the more, I hate to use the word alarming aspects, but it was only, the red flag came up when we saw the Jets rush for 182 yards against the Steeler defense, and everybody mindful of what happened, not only in that playoff game against the Ravens. They ran for 299 yards. Go to the regular season game a couple weeks earlier, they ran for 220 yards. Week before that, the Eagles ran for 132, and they think what they do, ran on 16 consecutive plays or something. So, and of course, so much attention in the offseason with the draft, wanting to become more physical, drafting bigger guys up front to stop the run, and we saw that happen right away.
Yeah, Gerry, I looked it up like you did. It's not just a two-game trend. Over the last 8 games, the Steelers are giving up, on average, 146 yards per game. That's more than they gave up in 2021 when they were dead last in the NFL in rush defense. So they gave up 144 that season. So, 8 games, Gerry, that's half a season. That's I would say that maybe is alarming.
And maybe the good news in this, Ray, is that, you look at last year, the totality of last season. The Steelers finished 6th in the league in fewest yards rushing allowed. I think their yards per carry was 4.1. And that despite the fact the Ravens ran for 344 yards in 2 regular season games, and the Eagles had that 132. So they weren't bad last year. Obviously, they were in the upper half of the league, despite the way they finished. So I guess there's hope. The one thing that Teryl Austin pointed up today, or at least that he said, is this was no comparison to what we saw in the Baltimore game. The Baltimore game, they were pushed around, they ran through them, they ran over them. He said this was different. They were just creasing them. Guys were in the wrong spot, not getting off their blocks. He sounded as though it's very correctable. Of course he's going to say that, but he said it's no comparison to what we saw happen in Baltimore, which, Ray, that game changed their entire offseason mentality of what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I know you listened to Cam Heyward talk on Thursday morning as well. He was saying if you have to be in the B gap, you have to be in the B gap. You have to do your assignment. He said it's not just the guys up front. So I think a lot of the focus was on Cam, Isaiah Loudermilk, Keanu Benton for not getting off blocks. But I think there was a lot of other stuff going on if you read in between the lines of Cam Heyward and Teryl Austin. So you're right, Gerry. Their entire offseason was spent, or a large portion of it was spent addressing this issue. I'm sure they want to get it straightened out for Seattle on Sunday because they don't want this to become any more of a trend than it's already been.
Yeah, and granted, Derrick Harmon did not play against the Jets. Their number 1 pick's not going to play this Sunday. They expect him back next week. Yahya Black played a little bit, not a lot. But, Ray, to me, if you're going to bring those guys in, or in this case, Yahya Black, because Harmon didn't play, then you know what? Play him more. Don't play a guy who's been around for 5 years who just continues to hang around. Play Yahya Black. Let him be disruptive. We heard Teryl Austin say today that Mike Tomlin refers to guys as kind of kick-butt players. He didn't say butt, though. And I asked Teryl, I said, is Yahya Black one of those kick-butt players? And he goes, yeah. And so, you know what? If that's what you need to do, you need to kick some butt, win some one-on-one matchups, then play Yahya Black. Let him go in there and disrupt the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line for coaches sometimes because you do guys, you want guys who know their assignments and who know what they're doing. I think Isaiah Loudermilk does that well, but there's something to be said for a guy like Yahya Black who may not know everything, but that guy goes 100 miles per hour. He's going to be disruptive. We saw how he can command double teams. We saw how he can get off blocks. Sometimes it is just better to go with youth, and I know that was your question to Teryl Austin. It sounded like, at least to me, that they were going to play Yahya Black a little bit more in this game.
Ray, Kendrell Bell didn't know a lot of the defenses either, but he knew where the football was, and they told him, go get it, and he would go get it. But you're right. That coaches worry about assignments or guys understanding defenses, what their jobs are, and if they start freelancing or getting out of position, then that's what happens. The gaps become open, and they get creased, and they go for long runs. But they obviously What we saw against the Jets, you can't have happen. I think the other thing, too, Ray, let's flip to the other side of the ball. The running game wasn't very productive. Part of that was because of the game plan that they wanted to come out and execute, and that was throw the ball, attack the Jets. And I think they caught the Jets off guard by having Aaron Rodgers throw 34 times. I know he threw 30, he was sacked 4 times. Yeah. But I expect that to change this week. Arthur Smith, his MO was always, if there's a deficiency the week before, address it the following week. Right. I expect that run game to be a little bit more of a focus and maybe more productive Sunday.
And he went into a little bit of detail explaining why it was that way in week 1. A lot of unknowns with going against their defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, who has been around at a bunch of different places, and he just wasn't sure how he was going to play the Steelers, so he wanted to be aggressive. But I do agree with you. This team was built to be a team that could be physical and run the ball. I know they haven't shown it yet, Gerry, but the fact that they didn't try to establish the run last week, I think this week they're going to at least try to establish it, try to go to it a little bit more. Time of possession was an issue in that game against the Jets. I think they want to get that back in their favor.
Kenneth Gainwell played 30 snaps against the Jets. Again, part of that game plan, wanting to throw the ball. They really like this guy as a pass receiver. Jaylen Warren played 5 fewer snaps than Gainwell against the Jets. I expect that to change. I expect them to get Jaylen Warren more involved. 11 carries, I think, 27 yards the other day. Yeah. And we only saw Kaleb Johnson play 2 snaps. And maybe you see him get in there a little bit more, but I think a greater focus probably on trying to get Jaylen Warren in the run game going this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Darnell Washington played 26 snaps last week, almost as much as Pat Fryermuth. I think that's his snaps will increase if they want to get the run game going a little bit more. So, Arthur Smith loves to use his tight ends, and I think you'll see more of Darnell Washington if they do run the ball more this week.
Steelers open their home season Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff, coming off that very wild and exciting 34-32 victory against the Jets. We'll see what transpires Sunday. Ray and I will be back with you after that game to give you the full recap from Acrisure Stadium. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You're watching Post-Gazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.